Morgan, are you ready to do this? Because we're about to jump into wave 7 and wave 8. Are they ready for this? What do you think?
I don't know, man. It takes a special kind of person to be able to handle some stuff like this because you have
I
to dig
mean,
deep on this one.
we have to go deep. All of this stuff is deep, but it's not that deep. You're gonna love it. Listen, I'm Chaton Morrison. I'm the Princess of Positivity. This is Getting to After. We are here to remind you that negativity and positivity, they sometimes have to coexist, but we want to get that positivity to reign. And that's what I'm all about. I'm an EFT practitioner, a certified core energy coach, and I really, truly believe that midlife is just the beginning. You can release your negativity. You can release and heal at any time as soon as you get ready. All this idea that, oh, I don't have enough time. Oh, I think it's too late. It's a myth. And we're mythbusters here. Morgan, tell them about it.
We are the Mythbusters. I like that. I like that. Along with being Mythbusters, bobbing and weaving, bobbing and weaving. Good morning, everybody. I'm Morgan Bustos. I'm an EFT practitioner. I'm a life coach, and I'm also an advocate for victims of domestic violence. I get to do a lot of public speaking and show my love and compassion for people and also give them direction and a sense of hope. I also enjoy and I thrive off of reminding women that they have confidence, they have grit, and they have strength and stamina to get through everything they're going through. So once again, everybody, welcome to Getting to After.
Yay, I love your new intro. Okay, tell us all about who you are. I love it. I love it. Listen, today we're going to be weaving together the last two of these ways, 8 ways to end well. Now, if you have missed the first 6,
Thanks.
I
Yeah.
mean, go back, go back. Make sure in the description box you can click below and you'll see all the other ones. I'll basically show you the first one and you'll be able to go from there. This whole series that Morgan and I decided to do, it's all about emotional openness. It's about helping you get into flow. It's about helping you to end 2025 better, to end it with wellness. A lot of times we jump into the new year, which I hate to tell you, it's just another day. I mean, just saying. We jump into this new year with all these ideals and goals, and it's a new start and all of that. But a lot of that is propaganda, just saying. And so what happens is that you're not actually ready for it. And so there's a couple of weeks left of December. And these are those critical weeks where there's, business things are happening, life is happening. You may be, the kids are off school or people are traveling, and you may find yourself bogged down. And we really want to provide this kind of soft space for you to land. And so today we're talking about 2 things. One is giving, and one is making peace with money. And I know they seem like that don't seem like they cross, but they don't. They don't. Sometimes we have to loosen our grip on things we've been holding on to so tightly. And even though this is not a financial literacy episode, by the way, we had a really good one back in October. Morgan, I guess I should give them the link to that too.
I think that's a good idea so they can circle back to that. Yeah.
We'll put that in the description box below. But as midlife women, it's sometimes time to really look back and see, what am I holding on to tightly and what am I not letting go of? And how does my generosity with making peace with money, how do those 2 things work together? And that's what we're here to talk about today. I mean, there's a tension between giving and keeping, I think. When it comes to money, there's so many stories in us. They run so deep. Many of us were raised to think in a scarcity mindset, or we were in survival mode, and maybe we needed to be. We may have been taught, don't want too much, don't want too much from your life, don't want too much from your man. It's like a mindset of scarcity or overabundance, where it's like, I got to consume, and I don't know how to give it all. As life gets heavier, bills, responsibilities, caregiving, I'm watching that with my daughter and her new marriage. It's like generosity can feel like, I can't do that. That's a luxury. That's not joyful for me. I'm not giving you nothing,
Right.
And the twist is that when we soften our grip around money, actually more comes to us. And it's not a myth, it's real. It's like, even if you just ease up a little bit, your body can finally exhale, because you'll realize that it's a flow. And that's the flow we want you to get into. Giving is not about losing. It's about trusting that things are going to be okay. And I'm not saying give all your stuff away. It's not the goal of this broadcast. But there's a peace that we're all craving, and the peace is not a number. It's not, maybe it may seem like there's a number in my bank account that will make my nervous system feel settled, but actually we know for sure that money itself doesn't do that. And so this entire series is about helping you to put things in perspective before January 1. And,
Mm.
and today we're going to be doing, of course, some tapping. We're going to do some reflection. We've got some journal prompts for you, and just kind of using this entire paradigm to see how you can make some changes. So, like Morgan, I know you and I have often talked about financial things, and you've been through a lot. I have to shout you out because if people don't know you intimately, and if you don't, you probably haven't been watching us enough, and you need to watch more regularly every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Eastern. Morgan is one of the most giving people I've ever seen. And I'm not, I don't need to flatter. Why? I don't need to gaslight. She is one of the most giving people I've ever seen. And I think throughout today's, episode, we'll get to delve into a little bit about your mindset and your heart around things and money. It's so very, very healthy. But go ahead and talk to us about this idea of generosity, financial peace, and what kind of comes up for you.
I think for generosity, it really feels fluid for me. It's all about movement, right? And financial stress feels more like a just constricting, like tightness. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it, when you're stressed out, your body is usually tightened up. Your shoulders are forward. But if you're confident and you're happy and you're open, you're back. You're opened up a little bit to things and you're able to receive things. Being open-handed, it's not always about giving money. It's about kindness. It's about your space, making people feel safe and wanted and cared about, and you feel a shift in your body. Whereas if you're tight, then it's a sense of fear. You feel that tightness in your chest and your shoulders raise up and you brace for impact kind of thing. So
Yeah.
mhm.
And I love that you mentioned that, because even the fact that we've been doing this podcast for well over a year, this is about giving. This is about giving. There are people that you have to subscribe to their podcast. They're constantly asking you to Venmo them or buy them coffee, give them a Starbucks card. I'm not going to say that we will turn that away if you do that. I'm not saying that we'll turn that away.
Love us
I
some
mean,
Starbucks.
we're not saying that we'll turn that away. My Cash App is Chateau Morrison 1. But the point is that we don't do this for that reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Morgan and I have a business. Do we sell things? Sure. But the reason why we show up here every Tuesday is to give. And
Mm,
I don't know. I'm not at a loss for doing that. Are you?
not at all.
Never been at a loss for doing it. So I think that there's this idea about fear around money. It does kind of live in our nervous system. And also conversely, like when we're consuming and we're getting stuff, there's also an adrenaline rush that comes from that as well.
Mhm.
The more that I get into the somatics and our body and how our nervous system works, I've been studying very deeply about that in 2025, the more I am starting to recognize how my body responds to things. And
Mm.
I'm noticing people around me, even people I don't know, what their energy does when they're giving, and what their energy does when they're receiving, and what their energy does when they're taking, meaning that they're consuming a lot. And it's really fascinating work. Generosity in any form does the opposite. It does make you open. It brings that warmth back to you. Sort of like what we were talking about last week about connecting with someone. That's the same thing that it does. The nervous system goes from bracing
Mhm.
to exhaling and breathing. But when it comes to this fear of not enough, or people feeling the sense of safety, especially after trauma, I think that's where it can get a little bit dicey with knowing what to hold and what to give. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Because it shows up in overfunctioning, analyzing everything constantly, wanting to make sure you have control over things. So nothing, you're not scared of anything. It can also come into like giving too much of yourself, hyperfixating on other people. So you don't have to focus on yourself. That's another way that it comes back. And then also, the convenience of carrying everything for yourself makes you feel not only safe, it makes you feel like you're in control. But then when you do that, the only problem with that is you're exhausted. You're drained constantly. So you don't have your hands open to receive because you're constantly like carrying everybody else's stuff. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Oh, it does. I mean, that's the whole reason why I thought that these two themes work together, because in midlife, we are to a point where we're used to giving. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I do think that it does tie back to boundaries. I think it does tie back to knowing yourself and knowing what you need. And I think that when people start to, for myself, the one thing I do, I'm not a big resolution girl. I typically do my resets in December. As I mentioned before, I'm in the middle of this huge reset right now. I like
Mhm.
to do stuff in December because January is too bogged down with everybody else's energy, right? There's the same
Mhm.
thing that happens. Everyone's like, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to work out. And then the gym is full and then I'm overwhelmed. Okay. Start in
Mhm.
December. Like, I'd rather start in December. But these two things weave together because starting to think about, what do I want to give, or what have I given that's too much? Where do I need to put boundaries in place? Or where have I become miserly? Miserly with my energy, miserly with my money, miserly with my mindset, and why? Because I think that's the part we miss. We miss the why part. And that's where the growth comes in. So in 8 ways to end well, we want you to start to think about, where does the why come in? And it makes me think about my mom. I always shout out my mom. I love her. And she would always talk to us about, which is actually something biblical, where she would talk about, your hands, as you mentioned, being open. And if you think about, if you were thirsty, right, and you were in front of a river or a lake, and if the water was clean, okay, this is a fantasy, and you were able to scoop it up, your hands would have to be open. If
Mhm.
you're thirsty, if you have needs, as opposed to holding and gripping, your hands actually have to be open. And that's how
Mhm.
you'd be able to scoop up the water, and that's how you'd be able to get refreshed. Imagine standing in front of it, being really thirsty. I'm so thirsty. And you're in front of the water like this. And you could drink it off your lip. I mean, how are you getting the water, Morgan? Right? Like, how are you getting it? You've got to
Right.
up. And so it's the same thing. I think this idea of it's financial peace is like those cupped hands.
Mhm.
Generosity is also cupped hands, and maybe what you're giving to someone and then what they're able to receive. And so it's important to think about. And I do think it's also important to think about what you mentioned about giving too much and knowing what that looks like too.
Mhm.
Um, because I know that from being in trauma, and this is not just your trauma because of DV, I've had other trauma as well that ended up in me over giving. In my case, it was usually money, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, because I was made to feel guilty for what I had. And
Mm.
it's that same thing. It's still that, oh, so I'm not poor enough, so that means I must need to do this equalizing. Okay, now am I good enough for you? Like, that's crazy.
Isn't that
No,
craziness?
I've done it. I've done
Yeah.
it. And so that's not, we're not advocating none of that. Okay. Um, for you, when I know that after your ex-husband passed, there was a lot of decisions you had to make, a lot of monetary decisions, a lot of financial decisions, and people were at you for money.
Oh, constantly. And it always amazed me because, well, we lost everything,
Yeah.
but yet people still wanted to take from us.
Yeah.
They constantly wanted to take. And then because I do have a loving heart and a generous spirit, and I just genuinely care about people, like if I see somebody needs something, I'm going to help. I'm not going to wait for them to ask. If I see something, I'm going to do it. But because of that, it actually ended up being to our detriment, you
Yeah.
know? And so there's a fine balance between those kind of
There's a
things.
fine balance. So one of the things that you can do in this reset that we've been giving you over the last couple of weeks, and this may need to be something you need to bring into 2026. So maybe it's 8 ways to end well, but maybe it's 8 ways to begin well. So if you just now started watching these, maybe this is the first one you're seeing the premiere or you're in the replay, go back, because what we've been talking about, boundaries and reconnection and making peace with yourself, it's so it's important. And these are the steps, like these are the main things that you need to do, especially in midlife, to kind of reclaim yourself. And you'll hear Morgan and I talk a lot about belonging, becoming. If you've never been on our website before, why not? Like, why not? Okay, you need to get on our website, gettingtoafter.com, and we talk a lot about becoming and how important it is that you not think that I'm stagnant, I'm stuck, and nothing else
Mhm.
happens after today. Like, things can happen. So in these 8 ways to end well, we've been encouraging you to journal. I'm not sure if you have your journal yet. If you don't have the Getting to After journal, why not? You can get it on our website as well. They're $10. They come in pink, white, and burgundy. They're lovely journals. Morgan, I told you that I'm in a kind of a drawing phase now, and I typically draw on paper that is unlined, and I use multimedia paper because it's thick enough, and I like to use acrylic markers or watercolor paint, something like that. And I found out the other day because I wanted to see what kind of showed up for me in terms of tapping once I did a drawing. And the paper in here, girlfriend, the paper in here is so thick. I didn't even realize that. And
Really?
we sourced these, of course, but the paper in here took my acrylic thick, heavy markers. Those permanent markers did not come through the page at all. Like I could literally do a drawing on one side and a drawing on the other side. So I'm telling you,
There
at
you go.
$10, all right, you want to make sure you get one of those. The thing about journaling is it allows you to take that kind of pause and that kind of
Hmm.
breath and notice what comes up for you. Morgan, I know you've done a lot of journaling in your life. Can you please let these people know why they need to be journaling?
It's a huge release for your body and soul. Like you're able to pour out in a way that you can't even verbally when you're talking. Like it just comes out of you differently. And then when you get it out onto the paper, it's something about seeing it written down, having it writing, going from your mind, from your heart to your hand to the paper. And like when I first started off doing it, it was like paragraphs I'd be writing. And then it turned into bullet points.
Hmm.
And then it was crazy how much I was able to like get out of my system in such a quick amount of time. Because in the beginning too, when I was doing the paragraphs, I'd be doing it for like hours and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I don't have time for it.
And
So
that's overwhelming. So we
yeah,
don't want you guys to feel overwhelmed.
no, don't do that. Like I had to retrain my mind to just hurry and give myself like 5 minutes, just in 5 minutes, put on a timer, get everything out. And then also going back and revisiting it and
Yeah,
seeing that when I go back to it, or do these feelings still resonate with me? Does it still have the same
yeah,
impact? Does it still have the same weight, or have I shifted? Have I grown from this?
yeah.
And if not, then we go back, we revisit it again, work through it again, do some more tapping and journaling on it.
So good, so good. And just so you guys know, like even what she's talking about there, this is something that we do in group as well.
Mm.
This is my brand called Write and Release, and it's called Wartime. I'm going to be putting out a short course about that in 2026 so that you know how to get into journaling and how to do it and how to make it meaningful for you. The other
Perfect.
thing that I never talk about is that, well, I shouldn't say I never talk about, but the one thing that I think that enhances the journaling as well is using an oil. And so Morgan and I are working on getting some good sourced oil that we'll be selling on our website in 2026. And one of the things that I love about, if you're like, I don't like oils on my body, like I don't like the smell of it, it makes me feel whatever, it's
Mhm.
probably because you have some kind of emotional block. Sorry. But one thing that you can do is you can take your oil and you can drop it onto the page, one little drop onto the page that you're going to write on. Okay, stay with me now. One
Yeah.
little drop on the page you're going to write on, and just let it kind of, the smell will kind of dissipate. What will happen is, as you're pressing on the paper, it will kind of come up to your nose. And so,
Mhm.
without it being on your actual hand, you'll kind of smell it, and it will help your brain to release what you need to write down.
I can't believe that you brought that up this time, because one time when I was doing that, I was using one called Joy.
Mm.
And I put it on there, and somebody walked in and they're like, "Oh, what is that smell?" And I was like, "It's called joy." You want some?
I've joined
But
much because it doesn't seem like it, right?
right, right. But while I was writing on that, my whole personality shifted. My mindset shifted while I was writing, and then it went from being angry and aggressive to even like the style of my handwriting shifted.
We did, yeah. So we're going to be getting into that more in 2026. So there's lots and lots. I can't drop everything all the time, but there's lots of things. But you're going to be seeing that. I am. I personally have been using oils for well over probably close to 30 years. When I'm traveling, it's so important to me because it also gives me a sense of home. It calms
Mhm.
me down. It grounds you. And so we'll talk a bit more about that. But let's jump into some of these journal prompts and how you can use them when you're talking about this tension of money, um, bringing peace back in when it comes to generosity, not generosity because you have to, not giving because someone told you you must, right? Or someone gives you a list and tells you what you have to give them, or that you feel that obligation and then you feel that stress about money. So the first thing would be, where in your body do you feel tension when you think about money right now? Where in
Mhm.
your body do you feel tension? And again, if you're watching in the replay and you don't have time, to journal right now, you can always just kind of think about that for a second. Or if you have a couple of thoughts while I'm talking, just jot them down. I feel tension at my hands, or I feel my stomach, my chest feels weird. Think about what part of your body are you feeling that in. That's important to note. The second one is, where does the fear of not enough show up for you? Is the pressure in your chest? Is it a knot in your stomach? Is it tight breath? And the reason why we say not enough is because typically in the environment we live in, when it comes to money or time or energy or your spirit and mindset, it's always about not enough. It's very rare that you feel, I'm so abundant, I got so much, I'm good. The world is meant to
Yeah.
make us never feel good. It's meant to never think you have enough, right?
Yeah.
And so where does that fear, or where does that feeling of not enough show up for you? Really important to note that down, so that when you do your tapping, or we could do some grounding and breathing, you can release that. The third thing is, when you're ready to give, when you want to give, when it's time, support, resources, um, where does your body pull back? So you
Mm.
want to, and you feel yourself like, you know, where does that live for you in your body? There's usually going to be a particular spot where you hesitate. Or is there a familiar sentence that comes up? Is there a familiar refrain that pops into your mind every time you think about giving? So you want to write that down. And it's good, right, Morgan? It's deep.
Yeah, I was like, while you were saying that, I was trying to process it. I was like, hold on, let's rewind real quick because there's so much that came through with that.
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. And that's why, again, working with a coach is so important,
Mhm.
because sometimes we are living in this familiar framework or this familiar structure. And because it's familiar, we think it's good.
Mm.
Because it's familiar, we think it's normal. Because it's familiar, we think it's the best that there is. And it may not be. And it may be just those little tweaks that can be taken by working with someone in wellness that can change everything for you. So just give it some thought. All right, here's number 4.
Let me just say
Oh, go
something real quick on that
ahead.
because it's so important too as coaches that we have coaches.
Oh,
And I don't think everybody understands that
oh,
because we need to constantly be growing and learning and progressing too. And sometimes, we're human. We might get stuck on something too. And so being able to utilize what we teach other people, but then also having somebody that we're working with, our mentors,
oh,
be able to give us other directions to go to. And it's so helpful, so
yeah.
helpful. So don't be ashamed or afraid of looking outwards. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
you can receive more
And not
education.
just that, but I mean, it's like, everyone isn't broken because you want to work with someone on your
Yes.
wellness, especially in midlife. I will say that we all carry some brokenness by 40s, 50. You carry some brokenness, even if it's not yours.
Mm,
When
mm,
it comes to money, we're going to carry something. It's impossible not to.
yeah.
But just recognizing, acknowledging what it is, and knowing that, oh, I can release some of this. It's very powerful. The
Mm,
fourth thing is, and it kind of comes up into what you just mentioned, Morgan, is when someone tries to support you or tries to offer help, what
mm,
part of you closes off or feels unsure?
mm,
Is it like this? Is it tight? You know, does it when you need to say, yeah, yeah, it's not, it's something in here happens and the throat won't open up for you.
mm,
It's interesting because a couple of weeks ago, my daughter's car died in the highway, just died completely. It was her transmission, crazy quote, money, etc. The thing that's so interesting is that, and this is not to big up me and my husband at all, but we've tried to do a good job with teaching them how to receive and also to be very giving. My daughter's very generous. Um, and what's so funny is that immediately it was like, okay, so what do we do? Okay, well, let's give her my car. Not forever, but let's let her hold my car, so that, because I can easily be um, put out, so to speak, because I work from home. And the times that I do go out, mostly for ministry, I can borrow my mother-in-law's car. I can borrow Mark's car.
mhm,
I don't, it's amazing how that made me feel to be able to do that. But then I noticed her joy as well. I mean, we know this.
mm,
As moms, it's easy, but what's harder is the receiving.
mhm.
The harder is the receiving. Now, my daughter, she's Gen Z. She receives just fine. It's okay. Gen Z is no problem with open hands. Okay. No diss to Gen Z. I didn't say I'm not Gen Z. I'm just saying that they have no problem receiving. But we sometimes, Morgan, our age bracket, right? We're 10 years apart, but like our age bracket sometimes really struggles with receiving. And I think it does have to go with having given so much. So think about that. When someone tries to support you or offer help, what part of you starts to close off or feel unsure? And recognize that this kind of journaling it's really everything. You get so much from it. Um, you don't have to feel overwhelmed anymore. You get to know exactly what your feelings are. And sometimes that can be super scary,
Mhm.
but knowing what they are gives you the power to decide what you want to change. And it may be, okay, right now I can't change anything. Okay. But knowing that,
Yeah.
right? Knowing that.
I think our generation, we've been taught to be so independent. Like, don't ask for help. You're supposed to figure it out. Go figure it out. Go figure it out, kind of thing. Don't
Yeah.
come to me on the job and say, oh, I don't know how to do this, because then you could lose your job, kind of thing. This isn't one of those moments.
No.
This is one of those moments where you get to go really deep inside of yourself and say, okay, this is what I need.
Yes.
This is what I don't understand. I need help with this. And it's such a freeing moment to have help.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to carry everything on our own. That's why we're here too, is to help you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. And I think too, it's some people have a trigger on the word help, so we'll say support.
Mm.
Um, but the thing is that, and please make sure you're here next week. Do not miss next week's episode, because next week we're going to be talking really about the idea of how do you support yourself? How do you get the support that you need? And so we're going to be taping a really beautiful episode for you. I'm really excited about the episode for next week. So listen, if any of this resonated for you and you know that you would like to get in more into journaling, make sure you're a part of our mail list. First of all, let me put our link up so that you can be part of our mail list. Yeah, so I want to make sure that you're part of our mail list. Make sure so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. In particular, we have a magazine that comes out every quarter, and in there we have so many journal prompts. We have so many journal prompts, but being a part of our mail list, you can always know what's coming down. We're going to be doing a lot more email out for you next year so that you can keep in touch with everything we're doing. Again, we always be very honest with you that it's just Morgan and me. Like, we don't have some big team. It's just us, two mamas in midlife, making lots of stuff happen with multiple businesses. All right. But this one is so important to us. The podcast and our tapping circles, it's so important that we want to show up for you. So we don't want you to miss out on hearing all the goodness that we've got coming down.
Yeah.
And one of those is making sure you get the journaling in. I think, and Morgan, let me just show them the link for the magazine in case they don't have that yet. If you don't have the magazine yet, for fall, it's still available. I know you're probably saying, like, yeah, but Chatone, like, winter just started. I know. So
The goods are still good.
it's still really good. And so you can get this. And there's some beautiful tappings in there. There's some great journal prompts in there. And also there's some very exclusive content that you can only get by being a part of the magazine. So with all of that being said, Morgan, I think that we're ready for some tapping. Are you ready to lead us?
Absolutely. I think we should get started off with some grounding though first before we jump into that. So let's do that first. Today, I actually want you to start rubbing your hands together. And just do it as fast as you can. And what we're going to do is take some deep breaths in while we're doing that. And then when you start to feel the warmth in your hands, I want you to pause for just a second. And if it's safe to do so, just place them over your eyes.
I guess you want me to take off my glasses. Okay.
Yeah, if you can for a second, that'd be great. Just put them over your eyes and feel the warmth on your skin. Bring your awareness up to the top of your head. You might start feeling warmth, a tingling feeling. Just focus on the calmness of your breath, breathing in and out, deeply and slowly. Listen to the sounds that you're hearing. What do you smell? Take your awareness and bring it down to your shoulders. Drop your shoulders, let the weight off your shoulders. Exhale. Feel everything move down your body. The weight of your hips sitting in your chair. Feel the chair supporting your body and giving it everything that you need. Allow the movement to move down your thighs to your knees and down into your feet. Allow the energy to move through your feet into the ground and release. Take another deep breath in. And out. One more in. And out. And when you're ready, slowly remove your hands from your eyes and gently open your eyes. And then I welcome you back to this moment.
Nice. Nice.
What I enjoy about that is when you cover your eyes, it really makes you have to completely shut down and block everything out so you can really focus on what you're feeling, the sensations that you have in your body at that moment. So it puts you in tune with your body so that when we go into doing the EFT, then we're able to really be in sync with our emotions and our bodies together. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll start on the side of our hand. This is called the karate chop point. And we'll start tapping on the side of our hand. And what this does is it allows us to be able to be in tune with our body and our mind and then all of our emotions simultaneously. We always like to talk about what's going on with our emotions real and raw in the moment in time. And then later on, we'll go ahead and put some affirmations in at the end. So if you'd like, you're more than welcome to repeat after me, or you can say it in your head, whatever you're comfortable with. Even though money has felt tight in my body,
Even though money has felt tight in my body,
I'm open to finding peace again.
I'm open to finding peace again.
Even though generosity sometimes scares me,
Even though generosity sometimes scares me,
I honor the part of me that wants to feel safe.
I honor the part of me that wants to feel safe.
And even though I've been gripping too tightly,
And even though I've been gripping too tightly,
I'm ready to open my hands and open my heart.
I'm ready to open my hands and open my heart.
Beautiful. Let's take a deep breath in. And exhale. It's always nice to take a cleansing breath in between those moments to be able to release what came up for you. We'll go ahead and we'll start at our eyebrow point. I release fear that generosity will drain me.
I release the fear that generosity will drain me.
Side of eye. I release the belief that I'll never have enough.
I release the belief that I'll never have enough.
Under eye. I release the pressure on my chest.
I release the pressure on my chest.
Under nose. I release the old money shame.
Ooh, I release the old money shame.
Chin. I release the tightness in my gut.
I release the tightness in my gut.
Collarbone. I release the closed fist in my heart.
I release the closed fist in my heart.
Underarm. I release the fear of receiving.
I release the fear of receiving.
Top of head. I allow flow again.
I allow flow again.
Let's take a deep breath in. And an audible sound when you're blowing out, and breathe out all the way. Very nice. We'll start at the inside of our eyebrow point again, whenever you're ready. I choose open hands.
I choose open hands.
Side of eye. I choose open-hearted generosity.
I choose open-hearted generosity.
Under eye. I choose financial peace that lives in my body.
I choose financial peace that lives in my body.
Under your nose. I choose to trust myself.
I choose to trust myself.
Chin. I choose to believe that more is always possible.
I choose to believe that more is always possible.
Collarbone. I choose to feel lighter.
I choose to feel lighter.
Underarm. I choose to receive without guilt.
I choose to receive without guilt.
Top of head. I choose to end this year with softness, spaciousness, and flow.
I choose to end this year with softness, spaciousness, and flow.
Very nice. One more cleansing deep breath in and out. Breathe in and out.
Very nice, very nice. Tapping is so powerful that even if the specific topic isn't one that you're chasing, it's not one that's chasing you, tapping works. So for this particular one, I was thinking about a couple of other things that are attached to my reset, and I'm always glad to tap with you. Always. As you mentioned before, it's great to tap with another professional. It's awesome. But that one was just very calming for me. It's very calming. These are some things I've already worked through, but this particular one I know so many women need. And in general, at our age, mine and yours, it's needed. We got young adult kids and lots of responsibilities. Start dealing with health things. You're in that kind of sandwich generation. You're taking care of parents and being a caretaker. It's just so critical, especially this idea of being open to receiving. Because again, we mentioned this one about money, Morgan, but this could be time. It could be resources. It could be just asking someone to listen. And that's also the ability to receive as well. And that one may be really tricky. You know, for me, that one's hard sometimes. So I just love this one. I feel that ending the 8 ways with these two, especially right a couple of weeks before the end of the year, I think is really powerful.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, what I really appreciate about this is how everything just flowed together. You know, all of the 8 ways that we were working with, it really worked in unison together. And it's a great way to start off today and forward into the new year.
Yeah. All right. So before we close, because we are wrapping up these 8 ways, I did have a love note for everyone today. And Morgan asked me a couple weeks ago if we incorporate more love notes. So we're going to be doing more love notes in 2026. Not every single week, but we're going to write you some more love notes. Again, I really think that a love note is one of the most powerful things, and it doesn't have to come from a lover or a husband. I send love notes to my sister. I'm the kind of person that will send a love note to you just because you're my friend. Love notes are about being acknowledged, being seen. They're about someone being present to witness your life. They're about someone being there to say, I know you're here. I know you're precious. A love note could be a text message. It could be a voice message. I love giving a little video note, love note. So just as you listen to this, think about the fact that someone does see you. And even if it's not us, because we may not know you intimately, there's someone in your life that loves you, that cares about you, that wants to see you. And maybe they don't know how to tell you, but maybe you can start. So take this in for yourself first, and then you'll also be able to use it for others as well. Okay, everyone. First of all, I want to really thank you for being with us through these 8 ways. This is just for you. This is for the woman who has carried more than she ever says out loud. This is for you. This is for the woman who keeps showing up even though life is getting heavy and you're carrying it. This is for you, the one who's held everything and everyone else together far longer than you planned. This time of year isn't asking you to fix everything. It's asking you to soften, to loosen the grip in places that you've been holding so tight, places that you've been holding all the weight, to give yourself one breath that belongs only to you. Let's take it now. You walk through a year of stretching, through releasing, through reconnecting, through resting, remembering and trying again. And maybe it hasn't all been perfect, but that's okay. Every step of these 8 ways has shaped you and will continue to shape you, not through force, but through invitation. And here at the edge of the end of 2025, maybe there's a quieter healing waiting just for you. Peace doesn't wait for perfect circumstances. We know that. It meets you in the pause. In the moment you stop bracing for the next thing, peace can come in. Generosity doesn't empty you when it rises from a steady place. And financial peace isn't delivered by numbers alone. It settles in when your nervous system feels safe enough to unclench, enough to trust, enough to receive. Remember, you don't have to be strong in every single room. You don't have to save everyone that needs saving. You don't have to carry what was never yours to lift. You're allowed to exhale. You're allowed to be supported. And you're allowed to enter the next season with softness instead of strain. Your healing continues, not because you pushed and pushed and pushed harder, but because you finally allow yourself to be held.
Wow. Like, brought me to tears. Like, you have a way of speaking that literally captivates a person's soul and like goes so deeply in the eye contact that you make and your tone and the way you deliver. You have such a gift to be able to connect with people. It's beautiful.
Now, why is she out here trying to make me cry? We're not crying before the end of 2025.
It's just beautiful. Oh,
Love note. We all deserve a little love note, okay? So I hope that you received that as well as Morgan did. I wasn't trying to make my co-host cry this morning. Thank you for walking in these 8 ways to end well with us.
yes.
But this isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's whatever you need to discover right now. When you slow down slow enough to hear yourself, it's doing the work. It's doing the reflecting. It's doing the journaling. It's hydrating your body. It's movement. It's taking care of yourself. It's dismissing some of that self-critical inner self-talk that she needs to be quiet. Shh. Tell her to be quiet. Tell her to sit down and shut up. You can say it nicer than that, but tell her, because we're going to walk away from these 8 ways better. We're going to walk away from them thinking like, wow, there's some real shifts happening here. And remember, if this series spoke to you, go back and listen to the other episodes. We're going to put on the main links in the description box below. Each one of these holds a little piece of the after that you're looking for. And if you want to go deeper, our Getting to After magazine, as we mentioned before, it's waiting for you. Again, the link will be in the description box below. There's always going to be healing moments for you to come back to when you come here. There's a lot of podcasts out there, Morgan. Like there's millions of podcasts. We are always grateful, whether it's 10 of you, 20 of you, 100 of you, 1,000 of you that come and watch us, or you discover us way after this particular date. We're so grateful that you're willing, because healing matters. Wellness matters. Tapping works. And deciding that you're important enough to take an hour. That's where the shift really takes place.
I'm being so grateful that you guys are here with us. You know, I really, really love that we get to do this as a community. We get to do this together. It's such a blessing to be with you guys here every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. So if you've enjoyed it, please please let it somebody else, share that blessing with somebody else,
Absolutely.
share, subscribe, like, but more than anything, like take the time to work on yourselves. You'll be so grateful that you did.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to be back next week. Don't miss next week's episode. It's really soothing. If you love this love note here, you're going to absolutely love next week. We'll see you then, 8 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday. We love you. Have an amazing week.
Bye, guys.